Your Facebook's supposed to do. That's not my phone. Like, by any notice at this time, did we?
We generally don't when we're just having a chit chat.
Oh, I normally get a shout out on my page.
Yeah.
But I was busy this morning.
How's Sarah?
Fine.
Yeah.
No DJ.
Wonderful.
It's always a positive sign.
Hi Robert, how you doing, son?
Hey, hi Maggie, hi Stephen, hi Tina.
You've got the Facebook or whatever it's called this week.
I've got all.
Is Rebecca in?
Hi
everyone. Hi Rebecca.
Freedom Terrace, Ginger Giraffe. Into America.
Oof.
Hi Charlotte, Sheila, Matt, Adele, Maggie, Ian, Shazza. The numbers are starting to climb. Hi Fiona. Hi Ian. Margaret, Brian. Don't know, you asked me whether you or Margaret. I know we can see it my bloody Monday.
Rosie McGregor says, hiya boys. I like that. I like being called a boy.
Nobody called me a boy, that's for sure. He had somebody call me son the other day. He was about 20 years younger than me. I looked at him as if to say, you mental.
You like son?
Hey, I have to put my name forward for First Minister. I can't, I'm not an elected representative. I could put my name forward for leader of the party, though. Aye, I know, Margaret, I know it's rotten. It's bloody horrendous out there. Right, where are we? Aye, we're getting there. So Davies made a £200 donation to Drumchapel Food Bank, where they're desperately needing assistance, folks. If you live in the Drumchapel area and you can drop a couple of items off there, they're running very slow in stock.
Yeah, they really were the what's saying.
And at some point this week, Sarah and I will go up to Paul's Kitchen and Shots, and I'll give them my phone. We'll go up and have a chat with them, and we'll video it and put it out as we honour £200 at Paul's Kitchen.
No, I just did it electronically. That was it.
You know me, I'm too paranoid to put my bank details on the computer. You know, or on my phone.
The only problem I ever had was when I did it the normal way, and somebody was trying to set up standing orders of like, forgetting which they were. They were like £200 a piece, but there was like loads of them getting set up to go out.
Aye. Well, the Sarah and I will just go and made a donation, and thanks very much to everybody on the feed who helped to raise that money. We've not getting the walk through.
The one thing I do want to point out is the fact that we've not had a penny in from YouTube.
I was just about to say, David, that the paperwork's there now and we're sorting that bit out.
Yeah, but you know, it's you look at it and you go, sugar, I've got to hire 27 Philadelphia lawyers to go through this lot, you know. But at the same time, we'll get there. Don't worry about it. All right.
Right, let's get to business, right? As you know, folks, it's a topical chat show. And the big topics of the moment are, well, we'll start with the SNP leadership race, shall we?
How dare you talk about that?
Well, that's what we're here to do. Stuck in traffic, Ali, get your arse on the naughty step, watch out for a candle. Anyway, so far we've got Kate Forbes, who's breaking news, who's launched a video campaign to start her a leadership bid. We've got Hubta Yusuf in the race, and Ash Regan. But I have to say, I'm a bit surprised that Kate was such a young child, but watching the video, I know you've not seen it, David, but watching the video, she seemed to have the verb for it.
I did have, much to the chagrin of certain people online, but I did have my problems with Kate Forbes in the fact that she's a wee Freeze member, right? And there's such an awful lot that the reporters and the unionist mainstream media could do to give her such a hard time, and obviously the SNP.
Well, as you say, the answer's quite simple. When they ask her about being a member of that church, they say, well, show me any other churches up there.
Yeah, there are other churches up there, but,
the workers are finished.
Yeah, the majority of them are wee Freeze. She's got a young baby there, and it's going to take up such a lot of her time, and it's going to be difficult for her.
She's also sat down and spoke to her husband about it.
Yeah.
Because it is a big job.
Yeah.
And as you say, it's 24-hour a day job.
Yeah.
And he would probably have to move into Butte House.
I did learn something the other day there, is that Ian Blackford was a member of the wee Freeze, right? Maybe I'm taking my experience from when my dad dragged me along to a wee Freeze church in Pollokshaws, run by Pastor Jack Glass, personal friend of Reverend Ian Paisley in Northern Ireland, who will send you to hell, right? Okay, and it doesn't matter if you're 3 or 4 or 7 or 8. It's like, you're going to hell, boy, right? And that, to me, the wee Freeze is just something that nobody should go anywhere near.
But David, member, that's your outside impression. And we don't know how much the wee Freeze have evolved since your dad dragged you along to see.
Also, when I was in England, I was a member of a church band, right? Playing my guitar, my electric guitar. And, that's dreadful, right? But in the wee Freeze, they're not allowed to have any instruments. When you go to the wee Freeze up in the Western Isles, and you walk in, and you sit down, and they all start to chant, it's like a witch's coven.
That's enough of this nonsense. Kate's got her hat in the ring, and she's a serious contender.
All right, okay, fine, no problem. I will, as far as that's concerned.
And see, you don't know how it's evolved as times went on.
One person that I was kind of hoping was going to be in there was Angus Robertson, but
we can talk about the ones that are low running when we talk about the ones that have run. Come on, one at a time. So let's move on to Humza. Humza's been around a long time. He's the only one of the old guard to throw his hat in the ring.
Yeah, to be honest with you, he deserves a medal for what he did with the NHS. Fair enough. But I've never seen Humza as a leadership guy. You know what I mean? You certain people have got the tag of leader on them. You can see it. You can see the way they are, and they deserve to be a leader, whether male or female. Nicola definitely was a leader, without doubt. The moment she presented herself out on that stage at the Hydro in Glasgow, when we went, there was 12,000 people there that day. I was one of them, and that was fantastic. It really was,
So you don't think any of them got the pizzazz and the personality of Nicola? But I think he
something. See, at the end of the day, providing they can do the job, and providing they can actually get us across the line to independence, as far as I'm concerned, that's it. That's a tick in the box.
Well, as I say, I think Kate would make a good First Minister, but that's personal to me, And let's move on to Ash. Now, Ash is talking about drafting the GRR. That was a cross-parliamentary vote. That's talking about crashing marine democracy. I don't think that's going to be a good pitch.
She's just run away from it because it's a difficult subject, right? The main problem I've got with that young lady is that she wishes to make a plebiscite, either in Westminster or in Holyrood, reliant on the number of votes or the percentage of votes. So, in other words, we would have to get 50.1%. Take that away just now, David. I'm talking. Take it away just now, right? She's looking at 50.1%, right? And anybody that does that is bananas, because in a Westminster election or in a Holyrood election, it's about bums on seats. And if you've got more seats than the other guy, you've won, he's lost, right? And it's like anybody that promotes the idea, the very idea of counting up the number of votes in a Westminster or Holyrood general election, it needs booting out the park.
Bums and seats, as you say. Now, Paul says that he feels Humza, despite his work as health minister, he's done a marvellous job as health minister. He feels he could bring the different factions of the party together. So but there's a better point there, and that point is whoever wins, we need to back them. We need to keep our eyes on the prize.
Don't worry about that. It'll be, as far as I'm concerned, even though my preference was for Angus, whoever wins the race, they'll get my support. Whether it be Ash, or whether it be anybody, so don't care. All I want is independence, guys. Please give me that. If you want to buy me something for my birthday or buy me something for my Christmas, independence, please.
What do you make of the media frenzy down south to say that that's the end of the independence movement because Nicola Sturgeon say he stepped in?
Well, we saw Question Time the other night there, and you might not have seen it, but I watched Question Time the other night there, and the first question posed by an audience member in rugby in England was, now that Nicola Sturgeon has gone, is that Scottish independence dead? And for that to come out of an Englishman's mouth, okay, the question will have been slipped into the person by the BBC.
It's nice to see the diverse comments here on who they would like. Karen's talking about Angus. Angus has decided not to throw his hat in the ring, and so has John Swinney. Yeah. John's been there before, and they work out well for him. Yeah. Angus has got a couple of things, in the background that probably precludes him at this point in time.
Playing to their threads, John Swinney was a brilliant finance minister. But as First Minister, he was a bit weak. I've seen him filling in for Nicola once or twice. They're very, very good, the First Minister's questions. But I don't really think he did awful well for us in his position as First Minister when he did it.
His time for excluding the party wasn't the greatest. But at the same time, he would have been a safe pair of hands, good orator, quite good standing in Scottish politics. Same way Angus, he would have been a good candidate as well.
Yeah.
But we've still got a few days left for others to throw their hat in the ring. There's a few people here saying it should be maybe some MPs should throw their hat in the ring for leader. No, they shouldn't.
Two different parliaments, guys. Two different parliaments. You've got the possibility where what was the name of the Labour guy? Murphy. Was it Jim Murphy?
Aye, Jim Murphy.
He was an MP, and he got somebody to actually act as First Minister for him, even though he was an MP. He wasn't an MSP. Yeah. They got around that, but it doesn't work. It does not work. So therefore, anybody coming in from Westminster, they're two different parliaments. Got to keep them separate.
The other thing is, if we're going to claim that we want Edinburgh to be the seat of power, then the last thing we need is somebody from Westminster leading the party.
Absolutely.
That would be bloody hypocritical. talking about hypocritical. I see the I think it was STV, or it might have been BBC The 9, kid Anna Sarwar in the neck for taking Starmer stance on the GRR, because it's hypocritical, because it was a Labour Party policy and the Labour Party MSPs voted more or less en masse for it. You know, so he got it in the neck. The other thing, it would appear that Annas is off his meds. He seems to think that Nicola Sturgeon's Stone and Doon gives him and Labour a chance in Scotland. Well, the National poll, he said after the First Minister resigned, he did a poll, and it appeared that support for the SNP hasn't waned, and the support for the Greens hasn't waned either. In fact, according to their polling figures, the SNP and Greens would have a 23-seat majority in the Scottish Parliament. I also see they've started speculating that Kate Forbes, who only threw her hat in the ring at lunchtime, becomes First Minister, then the Greens might pull out of the deal with the SNP. I don't see the Greens getting up that hot and power vote.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you've got to look at people at Anasawa and imagine that they are within a bubble. They're surrounded by their most ardent supporters. And it's the same problem we had with Nicola Sturgeon, and we didn't. Don't say we didn't, right? Where she was within a bubble of her most ardent supporters. But what happened was that they created a shield that people like us couldn't break through to talk to Nicola Sturgeon, right? The same goes for Anasawa within Labour, and he is being told, "Oh yeah, you're going to be First Minister here. You got to look at this is opened up the entire pitch, right?" No, and you're going to fall flat on your face. I was going to say something else.
They might overtake the Tories, but they're not even near contenders for First Minister or taking the Parliament. But what was interesting is Starmer also decided to visit the Labour conference in Edinburgh, didn't he?
Yeah.
Where he decided to patronise us, tell us our borders don't exist, and that he's the future, and he'll concentrate on the things that matter to the people of Scotland. It would appear he's no effing listening.
Yeah, that's right.
To the people of Scotland. Their priorities are not the same as those in England. The cost of living crisis, it is a problem, but it's a problem made in London and one that can be easily sorted here. Easily. Because all that excess energy, we could be selling it, and that would subsidise bills here in Scotland if we were independent.
Or we could just whack them with a huge windfall tax.
Yep.
And put the money straight in the pockets of the people of Scotland.
Yeah. Or we could use it to build competition for the buggers. Make them fight for us taking out of their field. But as I say, the priorities are different. Anybody with half an economic ounce of sense knows that the only way that we're going to escape this downward spiral is independence, new currency, central bank.
Yeah.
They are a must now, and they are a must very, very quickly. But you see, so there's a bit of delusion going on with Anas Sarwar and the Labour Party here in Scotland, thinking they're going to make a bounce back. According to all the polling, if they're taking any MSPs for anybody, it will be the Conservative Party, and it's the same again with the Westminster polling. Shows that if Labour make any gains, it will be from the Conservative Party and not for the SNP.
Yeah, but don't forget, the last election we had the Tories, the blue Tories, and the red Tories, that is Tory and Labour, working together to get the maximum number of seats, right?
Oh, we've had that before. Now, Paul McMillan makes a decent point. We all need to remember that a campaign can raise the profile and standing of a candidate to those who aren't political. That's very true, Paul. We'll just see how it plays out. What we can be sure is the candidates standing to be the new First Minister, the press are going to shred them all.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. It's like it's handbags at dawn.
Yeah.
But the really, really nice thing is that we've got past the nonsense of the other day there when Nicola Sturgeon resigned. It took us a few days collectively. Some got it for us. So it's just the same as we had when Alex Salmond resigned on the 19th of September 2014.
Hey, let's deal with Nathan's point first, then we'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
If we win independence, we'll have to negotiate with giving Little England some of our oil and other things, as Gordon Ross has said. No, we don't.
We don't.
No, we don't. When it comes to our assets and our borders, they're fixed. We don't need to give them nothing. And the continental shelf is so there in the Admiralty in London. So we don't need to give them nothing. There will be a need for trade negotiations, but if we intend to rejoin the EU, then the trade negotiations should be along the lines of the same deal, that trade with them in the same terms as Northern Ireland will trade with them now. Simple as that. So
there was talk at the last referendum of where it was said that England could basically fall on the justice of the court system and say that they were reliant on the oil as much as Scotland was. So therefore they're entitled to take a share of it. No. Bugger off. Don't be daft. It's inside the borders of Scotland, and if any of you have actually seen the proper borders of Scotland, including the water, the area that we've got, then that belongs to Scotland. And we get to operate all the licenses and everything that goes with it. And it doesn't come into that, oh, England will negotiate to take that rig and that rig and that rig. No, that's not how it works.
And even the internal boundary switch made by Tony Blair will revert back to where it was.
That's Paul McCracken's just mentioned that. Yeah.
So we don't have to give them anything. In the negotiations, fixed assets that belong to Scotland and resources that belong to Scotland will not be in there. That's not how trade deals work.
And also another one that we've got to be very, very strong on, or whoever's in charge needs to be very, very strong on, is be prepared to shout down the oil and gas companies and get them to stop operations and literally take the licenses away from them so that they have to come to the table. It's Scotland's oil. There never was a truer statement. It's Scotland's oil. The oil companies need that oil. It's what they are all about. And if you take their thing away from them, then they're going to panic. So we can literally say to them, right, okay, here's the deal, guys. We want the oil and the gas at this price, X, Y, Z, right? And you'll fill our bucket first before you fill anybody else's.
Come on, we've covered that. Right, Scottish independence 2023. Davy, what about the Falklands and Gibraltar? Would Scotland be able to claim half of these overseas lands? Well, apparently I don't know about the idea of claiming them as such, but there should be a compensation on it. Because in the treaty, we're supposed to, in that the UK gained after the Union of Parliaments, it's supposed to be a 50-50 split. International, onshore assets are different. They belong to whatever country they're in.
There's Phil saying Scotland is due to half the UK's international assets. Absolutely. Get that in your heads right now. See the old American lawyer thing of where they do divorce? Half. That's what we've got to keep in our heads. That's where the negotiations got to start with, because Scotland has contributed to the Union as much as England has, if not more. And they need to understand that if we will negotiate, but our starting position is half.
Putting a claim for half of Northern Ireland. It's not an overseas territory, it's a treaty it's in.
That's right.
It's a crown protector, it's a different matter altogether.
Those people, you know, at the moment, those people are being dealt with dreadfully by the Westminster Parliament. Can you imagine if Scotland was in a similar position where we had one single party that was basically keeping Holyrood shut all the time? That must be awful. The people of Northern Ireland must feel dreadfully about that.
Siobhan on Facebook says that we need a Scottish equivalent of Mick Lynch. I'm sure there's plenty of them there.
Yeah.
And there's in the STUC.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of them there. Hey, Fiona, I agree with you. Our Northern Ireland correspondent has just kicked up on Facebook to say, seriously, you don't want Northern Ireland. It belongs with the other 26 counties anyway. Don't get any disagreement from me there.
No, I'm with that.
You know, you won't get any disagreement from me there. And I see that the Celtic Games Association there have come out and said that they're now in favour of a unified Ireland, which is something they've kept out of for a long, long time, because they're quite a strong movement, you know, in Northern Ireland. But I see that Rishi Sunak's also had to put a pause on his NI protocol deal because of the DUP have thrown their toys out the pram again, and senior Tories in the ERG are threatening.
Yes, Boris is locking horns with him, telling him, don't you know about with my protocol?
Aye.
Phil McCracken says, Ulster Scots caused Northern Ireland.
Probably.
I would say it's actually the British establishment that caused Northern Ireland, Phil. You know, so let's just keep that one where it properly sits.
On the good news story, David, I see the nurses have settled the strike.
Yes. My wife came through and showed me her pay slip this morning, and she said, look at that, I've got my money in. So there's lots of them being paid. Still some to be paid, I would imagine. Depends on what part of the payroll they're on, you know. But
they're all promising their money by the end of the week.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a backdated for 2020, 21, 2022, where the settlement was 5.5%, and next year they've settled for 22, 23. They're getting a 6.5% settlement.
No, this is the thing that a lot of people might not be aware of, is that the nurses that are on the higher levels,
it's graduated.
They've got less of a payment than the ones at the lower levels, and it really it's a very progressive pay settlement, which my wife, she's not at the top, but she's up a bit, right? She's actually in full agreement with the young lasses coming into service should get a bigger chunk.
MC said Scotland's not due half the assets of the UK, we're due all the assets of the UK. That's an ambitious divorce argument, to say the least. So it was good that the nurses have settled. It's also a slap and a kisser for that mob down the road that we can get around the table. Everyone, there is a bit of hypocrisy in Northern Ireland, because, especially the DUP, because they did campaign for Brexit, but they campaigned to get a border put up in the island of Ireland. That was never going to happen. The Americans were never going to permit it. The UK government was never going to permit it, and the EU is never going to wear it either. Yeah. The Irish border ended up where it was going to always be, in the sea. And that Theresa May's backstop was the right thing for the UK when it came to Brexit, if you're going to have a Brexit deal. And that was because Northern Ireland had to stay in the single market and the customs union. We all stayed in the single market and customs union.
At the time, the Nicola Sturgeon was trying to get the same deal as Northern Ireland, because she could actually see a lot of the firms that we have, like we've got Amazon Europe down the reaches of the Clyde. They fly across to Northern Ireland because the European market.
They'll reroute the stuff coming in for Europe via Southern Ireland into Northern Ireland, and then in the fast track lane that they're talking about creating across onto the mainland here. And that'll cut out a lot of problems. I'm hearing a lot of the West Coast fishermen are actually landing their catches in Northern Ireland. So they can easily access Northern Ireland's seen an economic boom here. But you're right, Nicola did want the same deal. That's what she did with the paper Scotland's place in Europe. And it was thrown straight in the bin. They didn't even read it.
Again, another situation where Scotland pays for all these things. Look at the VAT situation we've got with the police and the fire thing as well, and also the ambulance, where they're not allowed to claim the VAT back.
Rosie's asking what the USA have got to do with Ireland. It's got to do with the fact that they were brokers of the Good Friday Agreement and guarantors of the Good Friday Agreement.
Yes, that's right. Do you not remember that, Rosie? At the time it was Tony Blair, but it was the president for it was Obama, wasn't it? That was helping get that through.
Thanks, Eddie. I meant to say, folks, just because David and I have taken the funds that you have raised already to distribute this campaign to try and help those who are not as well off as the rest of us will continue. It will just keep going. Food banks can restock. And if you've seen Jacob Rees-Mogg the other day on the telly there, he admitted that some food prices could go up by as much as 71% when the Brexit checks are introduced. And he's trying to justify no introducing them, but don't introduce some of the EU stuff trading with us altogether.
I'm as shocked by all this as any of you, right? Our gas and electric for the month of January was £500. That's £6,000 a year. Okay, it's going to get warm this summer. We're not going to run the heating, but you understand what I mean? It's like if you just take that £500 and do 12 times it, and that's £6,000, right? Even if it was £5,000, it's still ridiculous.
We were talking about this earlier, David. Come the uplift in April, it'll be costing me £120 to £130 a week to run my house.
Yeah, crazy one. And here's the other thing. Because the bills have been getting that high, I thought, right, we've got smart meters, both gas and electric, and I thought, right, I'll get the little mimic display and plugged it in and got it to work. Well, according to that mimic display, I should have a bill that's around about £120 a month. So consequently, I made the phone call to Octopus Energy and asked why what's happening on the meter is different to what's happening on the mimic display. And I was told, it's because we haven't got you connected up yet. I got the meter at the time that I was with Scottish Power. I moved to Octopus Energy, and therefore Octopus Energy had no actual electronic connection with these meters. So we have to take a photograph of the meters and actually put in the numbers each month manually, right? So I said, right, fine, okay. There's a bit of a difference between what the meters are producing and what this mimic display is producing. I said, can I have both the meters taken and put up for checking, see how accurate they are? Said, we'll send you a little file first that you can follow and see if that sorts it out. And I read it. Basically what they were doing was they were asking you to switch everything off and see if it's still logging, it's still adding kilowatts or whatever, right? And all the rest of it. and then check it against switching single things on to see what they are, right? Now, what that does is, that tells you the meter is running. It doesn't tell you the meter is accurate. And the thing that I really disliked about this whole thing with Octopus Energy was that when I said to them, no, I still want my meters uplifting and checking, they said, yes, okay, we'll send them to a third party to have them checked. But if they come back as being accurate, then we are going to charge you nigh on £200 per meter for that service. As far as I'm concerned, that meter is the only thing that allows them to charge me for my gas and electric. And if I think as a customer that it's not accurate, that should be enough for them to come and check it or get it checked. That should not be a situation where I'm given the threat of we're going to charge you £200 for wasting our time. I'm not wasting their time. I'm a customer.
Aye.
So there you go.
But I mean, Ali was making a comment that he's £645 a year in France.
Yeah.
I was looking at the chart, and right across Europe, the lowest prices are in Poland at £175 per year. Highest prices about €600 a year. Well, what's that? About £490 or something like €600. So, you know, that basically we're being ripped off, folks. And I see that one of the bigger suppliers in Southern Ireland has reduced its prices because the global prices come down.
Yeah.
That was in the news this morning.
But the one thing I'm going to tell you is, regardless of this threat of the £200 charge, I'm going to get them to come and check the meters. And then what I'm going to do is, once they've checked them and they both come back with a tick saying, oh, they're both perfect, I'm going to find a third party engineer of my very own to check the 2 meters. And if they are wrong, then I can see me going to 27 Philadelphia lawyers to take the Octopus to blooming court over it, because that would be dreadful, wouldn't it, guys?
But what's interesting is retail, the wholesale price for gas in the global market is dropping, and here in the UK prices are still going up. So it tells you everything you need to know. It tells you it's a rip-off, and if anybody's expecting these prices to come back down again, yeah, forget it. It's never going to happen.
But in Scotland, we pay the biggest feed-in tariff for any producers of energy, right? And then what happens is we're paying the bloody most for our electricity bills.
Yes.
We should be paying the least.
Yeah, but somebody says surely because of Scotland's big renewables, we are paying the mainstream green subsidy. That's not how it works. That's spread right across the population of the UK, because at this point in time it's a UK-wide market.
Yeah.
But
remember, that's something maybe to remember, is the fact that even after we take our independence, that UK market will still exist, and it has to be split off. It will take the Scottish independent government doing something to split that off. Because, you'll be going to your bank. Your bank will still be part of the UK morass of banks, right? The energy companies will still be part of the UK morass of energy companies. So it's going to take something done by the Scottish government to actually split off our energy. And
actually, as you go today, David, and this has been Martin, which you might call him, the boy for moneysaver.com. He's already spoke about this. What we need to do is unhitch our electricity prices from the gas prices. Unhook them all together and just say this is how much you can sell it for.
But it is going to take some work by the Scottish independent government to actually create separate the two marketplaces, right? It's because we're part of the UK marketplace that we're paying so much for our energy. Yeah. If we become independent and we go, no, our bills are what's used and what's paid for within Scotland. Yeah?
Yep.
It's not from what's within the UK. Because
it works is that it's in the hands of Westminster. At this point in time, there's not a lot we can do about it. It's another one of these reasons
we both did the research on the types of power generation that was taking place in England, right? Oil-based generators, gas generators, nuclear.
They've just fired up 2 coal generators.
Yeah. And that's why we're paying as much as we are. We're paying for the people in England burning basically gas, oil, nuclear, coal.
Rosie's got an interesting question. I happen to know the answer to it. And Rosie's right one.
Yeah, Rosie McGregor.
Is it true because I'm all electric, I'm classed as off grid and qualify for 200 help? Only if there isn't any gas supply in your area. The £200 is for alternative fuel. People have got no choice on alternative fuels. So if you rely totally on gas, then alternative fuels are no available to you. If you're relying totally on electricity because there's no gas, then you qualify. Saying I qualify for it and all because their village is all electric.
Phil, I can assure you that's not going to happen. He said, wait until the water pipe drains or reservoirs and locks to allow little England not to become a desert. Seriously, Scotland's got no problem with water, I can assure you.
Look, right, this land's sodden, but that's beside the point. What do you call it? The big worry in the next 12 months, as well as a rise in energy costs, because remember, this is reviewed every 3 months.
Yeah.
The part of on the one and
that point there is getting reviewed every 3 months. That's scary.
Aye, that is scary. But the big one for next year, because there is going to have to be checks put on food coming in.
Yeah.
The big scale this 2023 will be food.
Yeah.
You know, let's see, it's going to be hard. That's why we're so thankful for you guys that are helping with the food banks, because things are going to become hard for an awful lot of people. I mean, when Moggy, Disaster Capital is talking about certain products going up by 71%, like dairy products. We don't produce enough dairy here. We've got to import some of it.
Yeah, well,
you
know, the less I hear from that particular individual, the better.
See, we did see that things were good. I did see this. Once November was passed, the EU gave them a wee bit more grace, but these checks have got to come in, because if they don't come in, then the EU will stop trading with them.
Yeah, correct.
And see, right now it's open borders, and when the border force did decide to check 22 lorries coming into the door, 21 of them were founded for unsafe foodstuffs.
Yeah.
You know?
I just think 2023 is going to be pretty much a disaster for an awful lot of people.
Yep.
Especially when I was talking to that lassie from the food bank the other day, that she says we helped 14,000 families last year. They won't be helping that many this year. That's all.
Well, it depends on how you get your electricity, Rosie. If you're by direct debit, then they'll pay it directly into your bank. If you're on a prepaid smart meter, they'll load it onto your smart meter. And if you're just on a prepaid meter, an ordinary standard one, then they'll send you two £100 vouchers, which are redeemable at a PayPal for cash. There you go. That's the answer to your question, Rosie. I've got to let her lie on the table here.
Right, well, I'm basically all out of questions of stuff to cover for this particular chat, because, to be honest with you, it's like at the moment, until the election for our leader is over and done with, we really can't do much more. However, I'm being told that there's a possibility that the extraordinary conference that's
It's
should
been
be
shelved, David. It's been
Sorry?
shelved. It's been shelved for the time being.
Yeah, well, that's what was told. It's told it's getting shelved.
It makes perfect sense. We need to elect a new leader first.
Yeah.
And for the looks at it, the one that's making the most noise about independence out of the three who've thrown their hat in the ring is Kate Forbes.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and Angus Brendan McNeil, as I tell you, he tweeted that if Kate becomes First Minister, independence will be with us between 8 and 14 months.
Yeah.
You know, there'll be a vote on it or some sort in between 8 and 14 months. So it would appear that Kate is she's young, and we know that the 16 to 35-year-olds really want it. She's in that age group. And gone by the video that I watched that she's put out to launch her campaign, it looks as if she's going to brook no nonsense. But the other two haven't really launched their campaigns yet, so we need to listen to very closely what's being said by them all.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not putting my hat in the ring to be party leader, all right? And I certainly can't be First Minister. I'm not elected. You know, it is a lot of pressure for a young mum. It's a big test of character alone that she's throwing her hat in the ring. But she's young, she's energetic, she's eloquent, she's well educated.
Yeah, but when you look at what Nicola Sturgeon went through in 8 years, my goodness me, who the hell would want a job like that? You know, it's that a lot of time you've got to look at it from the point of view of if you want to earn, I don't know, £150,000, there are jobs you can do where you can earn that. You become a banker or whatever, you can easily earn that, right? So Nicola Sturgeon, my goodness me, for any amount of money, who the hell would want to wake up to that every day? It's difficult. But anyway, they choose to be politicians and therefore get on with it.
What do you call it? On the Kate Forbes thing, as I say, she's only one contender. Let's not concentrate. But she launched her campaign with a bang at lunchtime today.
Yeah.
There's a video out there, and she puts her priorities there on the table.
The wee question I want to ask the people that are watching, right? You come on, and every time we're having a chat, thank you. We're blessed by people coming on here. We really are, and giving us their comments, watching us, all the rest of it, right? I've got David and I have got a meeting with someone else. I'm not going to mention their name at the moment. I'm meeting with someone else, and the idea is, or the impetus is, to create a TV channel where, say, Gordon Ross is on it, where we're on it, right? And it's given a schedule, and basically you'll be able to look. You'll have indie times, like the old radio times. You'll have indie times. The two Davies, 2 p.m., right? And then Gordon Ross, 3 p.m. or whatever, right? And that means then that you'll be able to be an awful lot more organised for you, because all of our videos are recorded. So is Gordon Ross, Independence Live, you name them all, right? And if we had one single channel that people could go on to, then that would be an awful lot more sensible. Yeah.
Scottish Independence 2023 does a fair bit of that around his YouTube channel, linking them all together.
Yeah.
Now, let's address this one. What is the story if they don't elect a new FM in 28 days? They're having a competition, so that's no there as a question anymore, because they intend to elect a new one, a new leader and a new First Minister. But what would happen if we're talking about 28 days after a competition is finished? If they don't introduce a leadership candidate and an F candidate for FM. Then what would happen then is the opposition parties would have a chance to put up a candidate for First Minister.
Yeah.
But as we know, that wouldn't work because the Greens and the SNP are majority. So let's say the Tories, because they're the biggest of the unionist party at this point in time, puts up Douglas Ross for First Minister. The Tories elect him as First Minister. Then he would be the new First Minister. His problem is he wouldn't last to be a vote of no confidence within a few minutes.
That's right.
And the same would be with Anna Sarwar or anybody else. So, yes, technically speaking, the Parliament could collapse and we could have an election. But to organise a plebiscite election that fast, it's doable, but I don't see it. I don't see it at all. You know, they're still going to look at a way that the international community is going to recognise what's going on. Obviously, Kate's got her ideas on it because she's thrown her hat in the ring. And in her video, she's pretty strong on the independence point. We'll see what the other two have to say on it.
There may be more coming along. Seen as
there's still more time for people to put their hat in the ring. It doesn't close until I think it's 23rd of February. Contenders putting their hat in the ring.
Yeah.
You know.
So, what was the one I was looking at there? DJ Martin, we're talking about the TV channel, right? There's an ITV channel. At the moment, if you go on and you look at that, all you've got Gordon. And it's not even Gordon recently, it's Gordon months and months and months ago. So really it's not been managed. Let's face it, you can put a lot of things that are on YouTube or whatever on your big telly anyway. Right? So if we can get one good channel going where somebody takes the job of bringing in the videos from myself and Davey, from Gordon Ross, from Independence Live, from this and that and all the rest of it, right? They can build a schedule that people can see, and the channel will run for maybe 8 hours a day, where you can actually go on for those 8 hours a day, and you can look up what the times of the broadcasts are and all the rest of it, right? What times they're going out. And that would then make things an awful lot more straightforward for people. We would still want people to come on when we go live. So don't forget that. But it's just this other area where you can actually access all of these pro-indie voices. Yeah?
So the problem is keeping up with the amount of content to keep something like running 24 hours a day. You need to put it on loops, you know, because we only do 2 shows a week.
Yeah, that's right.
You know? And if I go on an impromptu, then you can't expect somebody live to pick that up.
Yeah.
You know? But Kevin's got some good software. We'll have a chat with him.
Yeah. Okay. You've given it away now, who we're actually going to be speaking to tomorrow.
Why is there no other Mike Kevin in the world?
No,
Who's Fetnal found the How You Gonna video? Somebody grab the How You Gonna video for the YouTube crowd and stick it in the comments, will you?
Aye.
Does anybody think whoever's Nicola puts her vote behind? I think Nicola's too much a statesperson to get involved.
Yeah.
Too much a statesperson to get involved.
Yeah. Links no allowed here, David. I thought they were. I thought we'd.
No, okay, cool.
If somebody can put them on David's own timeline or my timeline, that's fine. I'm quite happy with that.
Well, I'm sure Gordon would come on if we asked him. We haven't asked anybody lately.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak to the boy that does TNT tonight, not tomorrow, on a which goes out on Indie Live. If he would like to come on and have a chat with us.
Yeah.
But we're not in any hurry to get guests on.
Yeah.
You know, when it suits them, if we have to put on an extra program or whatever. I've no problem having a chat with Gordon. Gordon's quite an amiable guy.
Gordon's fine. In actual fact, I've got to talk to him because he's going to teach my daughter to.
You hope he's going to teach your daughter to drive.
I said to her, I says, I've got a rocket scientist who's going to teach you how to drive. She went, ooh.
I'd really like to have a chat with John Drummond. He's quite a good career. You know, I'd like to have a chat with John Drummond. But we'll get round to it. As I say, at this point in time, there's a lot going on, and David and I have got opinions we'd like to share as well. You know. So we've just got teachers really to settle now, haven't we?
Yeah. The teachers I was a wee bit worried about, because obviously I've got a daughter that's looking to be doing her what I would call A levels this year, and I just thought, oh, here we go, right? And my daughter Katie, she's much more intelligent than I am, much more intelligent than Leslie is. You know, Leslie's got 3 degrees behind her. I've got letters off my name for acoustics and being a sound engineer, and Katie is miles ahead of us. So it's really important that she does well in her.
Well, sitting there, your rocket scientist to learn to drive is not a bad idea then, is it? There'll be something to talk about. Hey, there'll be something to talk about. That's for sure. But I've got a problem with Gordon. Gordon's a nice guy.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. Yeah.
So we also need a way to get away to advertise on the marches, but we'll do our best. You know, without having to raise money and put adverts in papers, which we're not willing to do. We're willing to raise money to feed people.
Yeah.
But we're not willing to raise money to put adverts in papers for all the different marches and things like that, you know. And then I'm going to be a lot. I hear Leslie Riddoch wants to organise a march to show there's still support for independence before the SNP's new leaders elected in 6 weeks' time. You know, so it's going to be a busy year, especially as the media keep trying to convince us that we'll keep giving up on the idea. We're going to have to make sure that they know that we haven't given up on the idea. The best one I've seen out there is a meme that said, the Indy train is changing driver at the station, but we still expect to arrive at our destination on time and on schedule. Enjoy the rest of your journey. You know, because basically that's all that's happening. We're changing a bus driver or a train driver. That's all. The destination's still the same. Still the same. And that's where the eyes and the prize is important. And when we come to talking about this stuff, we talk about put your party politics in your pocket and concentrate on the big issues, the how you gonies. And I say, I'm sorry you haven't fun the how you gone. If you scroll down my timeline for a couple of weeks, you'll find it there. Where you
well,
go?
There's me watching the unions fall over each other when they think Scottish independence is dead.
Right. Yeah. So, the same with the journey continues, folks. Now let's see which one of the contenders for the First Minister is putting the best case forward on how we go forward, and putting the best case forward on how high up their list of priorities independence is. To see Kate's launched her campaign with a video, and independence is at the forefront of her campaign. So
I think it could actually be quite an exciting time, because it could actually cause the whole thing to speed up. Yeah, instead of it being slowed down because we've got to go through this change in the First Minister, it could actually end up whereby the whole thing speeds up, and that would be rather nice. That would be rather nice.
That would be rather nice,
especially for old gits like me.
See, there's a couple of things going on in the background with Angus's life which might have prevented him from throwing his hat in the ring, but I don't want to speculate or talk about it publicly because I don't know enough. When will the next for and against Indy poll come out? I have no idea, but what you all know, as I say, The unionist press right now are going full out to try and give us the idea that the train's derailed and we should all just give up and go home.
No, they really will. If any of them do a poll, they'll be looking to get independence down near 40%.
Aye.
That's what they'll be looking for.
The general public to think that it's time to give up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, we've hit the hour mark, folks. We'll be, once again, we'll be covered a wee of subjects, and we've interacted really well with the comments. Thanks very much for your points.
Yep.
Thanks to I think we only got one donation today, but thanks to the person that donated to the food banks. Yep. Remember, folks, this is an ongoing thing, but don't put in a donation if you can't afford to.
That's the important thing. I would hate to think anybody's leaving themselves short by doing the big thing, which is putting in a donation. Put in a donation if you can do it comfortably. All right.
Aye.
So, okay.
And the viewing figures are brilliant again today, David. Thank you very much, everybody who's joined us.
Yeah, the viewing figures have been growing. Actually, you know,
viewing figures have grown. So, which is great. The audience in YouTube's grown quite a bit. Actually, it's quite good.
It's nice to see that just now you, Mr. McGuinness, are nice and laid back.
I'm much more relaxed. I'm not as stressed as what I have been, obviously.
Yeah.
No, I'm just putting headlines into my journal. Thanks very much, Luke. No, I'm only just putting headlines into my journal because, David, I've got quite a photographic memory, so the headlines are just headlines will trigger it when it comes time to write it. You know what I mean? But at this point in time, relaxation and is I have to say I feel much more relaxed. Well, I don't feel under pressure to meet that deadline every day.
Them foot massages that Sarah are doing for you. Oh, did I say that earlier?
No chance of that. Anyway, that's where the earmark, and I'm needing to go to that loo that was making so much of a racket last week. So, my blood pressure's now getting battered up and doing like a yo-yo. Hey, you're welcome, Hugh. So that just leaves us with one thing today, Davey, and that's
bye, guys. Bye, Davey.
Bye, Davey. Bye, guys.